Cool. Buenas. Hello, everyone. It is Monday, May 4th, 2020. Hope you're all having a great start to the week. My name is Philip Lignan from CX Trading. And for today's technical analysis video, we're going to look at BTC USD. So let's jump right to it, and starting with the last update I gave in the discussion group and on the page. So in my last update, we were looking at BTC USD on the hourly time frame after the initial movement up to 7,500. So what I had mentioned looking at the hourly time frame in the discussion group was the following. After the initial movement up to 7.5K, we had this consolidation on the hourly time frame. And what I was initially looking at was this previous resistance here at about 7.6K on the hourly time frame, flipping to a support. And keeping it very simple, all I said was, as long as this new support holds on the hourly time frames, we should see price move up to at least 8 or 8.1K, which is exactly what we got, and well, even much higher than that. So I personally did go long in the 7.6K area, and I did end up taking profits at about 8.1, 8.2K. Happy with that, and yes, price did go higher, but as a trader, I'm just focused on my targets, and when my target is hit, I take my profit. So let's zoom out again on the daily time frame. After moving up to 9K area more or less, which is what the headlines always talk about. We've had some choppiness after the initial pump here. So a few days of choppiness now, and price wicked up to about 9.4K, which co-aligns with the initial downtrend structure that we have from the 14K top that we had in 2019. So we wicked right into that downtrend and have been choppy ever since. If we zoom out even further on the weekly, we take a better look at it. We're still in this downtrend structure. This is the wick up that I mentioned before on the daily. So far so good, not bad. What is very positive, in my opinion, I mean, obviously at the moment, we're still in this bearish structure for now, but what we have to keep in mind is on March 12th, when we had that initial drop to the downside, was that even though price really went low into the 3K, slightly below 4K, on the larger time frames, this is a higher low, which in the long term is good for the bulls. And for the past 7 weeks, that is exactly what the bulls have received. They've been in total control and they've been making their way up. But this downtrend resistance has put a stop on them for the time being. So 7 weeks of upside movement, very nice for the bulls. Going back to the daily, we see that we are also above the 200 daily moving average. Historically, this has been very good for the bulls as well. Let's zoom in on these time frames here. So if you zoom in on 12 hours on this consolidation here, we start to see this triangle formation. Going even further, start to notice it does look a bit like a symmetrical triangle, though I'll admit I have seen definitely much more nicer structures over the years. So strong push to the upside. This is the downtrend that I spoke of before from the 14K area, and we have been consolidating since. So there are three scenarios that I'd be looking at here. First up, as I'm sure most of you would want to see, is the bull scenario. I'd like to see a break above this triangle structure or even above this daily area, or some kind of a retest to continue up to maybe 9.5K, or let's see, what do I have marked on the daily? 9.9K, almost 10K. 10K is a very strong psychological barrier, at least that's what one would consider. But if the bulls do gain full control and we do get another move up, as in the previous impulse to the upside, I wouldn't be surprised if 10K is just instantly broken and left in the dust. But on the hourly time frames for the bulls, this would be the scenario that I would be looking for. The stagnant scenario or the sideways scenario is, well, we just get a continuation of this range pattern, either within the triangle. So we get something like this, and then either break up or down. Or perhaps even a larger range between these two daily areas, these two daily key levels. That would be the other scenario, stagnant or sideways movement. And for the bears, obviously they're going to want to see a break of the symmetrical triangle, or what's looking like a symmetrical triangle to the downside. So a break here, either retest triangle or perhaps even this daily level and come back down to about 8K. The reason I say 8K, so we'll have to zoom out again for that. What's important to consider, especially for the bears right now, is that, as I showed before on the weekly time frame, the local trend is bullish right now. Bulls have been in control for about 7 weeks. We've had this choppiness. I also wouldn't be surprised on the daily if this ends up just being a classic impulse correction and another impulse. Obviously, if we do get another impulse here, we would be breaking this macro downtrend that we've had since 14K. And if we go even further, we could break the larger downtrend that we've had from 20K onwards. So that'd be very good for the bulls. I know everyone's excited for the Bitcoin halvening, as I like to call it. To put things into perspective for the halvening, I don't think it's going to be a scenario of the event will happen and then we go full on bull. That's usually not what happens. I think people tend to forget throughout the bull run of 2017, it was actually a really nice steady rise, and it was only the final week or 10 days of the bull run which was the craziest and the one part that most people end up talking about. So keep in mind the local uptrend, or the local trend now, is bullish. And I kind of got off track there. As I was saying, for the bulls though, they want to hold 7.8K, which is more or less the level that we had before the March 12th drop, and still co-aligns with the current uptrend. If this uptrend, or the local uptrend now, is broken, then bears could gain control again for a while, and we would continue within this macro bearish structure. And we'd probably get something like this for a while longer. Worst case, even break, but you know, one day at a time. We're not there yet. So keep that in mind. Bulls are in control now in this uptrend locally. We could very quickly get a push to the upside, and bears slowly but surely, if you're going to want to short, going to look for this break here and maybe a move down to 8K. If you're a little more aggressive, 7.8K. But as always, do your due diligence, follow your trading plan, follow your system. If you do not have a system or a trading plan, you can always visit cxtrading.net to get caught up on that. We always have our on-demand course there. If you're interested in a live course, feel free to hit me up either personally or on the Crypto Expert page. I've gotten a few requests to do another live course. If I get enough attendees, I will definitely host that. So stay safe, happy trading, and I will talk to you all very soon. Cheers.